Well, it's Wednesday. I am back in my room and not on my hammock. That was great. The dogs just kept going crazy and they would like jump up on the edge of it and try to tip me out of it. I'd love to put them in, but being Basset Hounds, they are short, they're vertically challenged. Let me just say that. And I would hate for them to get hurt if they fell out. So they just sit there and kind of let me know they're there. And but it's great, man. It is like the ultimate chill factor during these difficult times. It's just to sit there with a couple of puppies, and they're going to be a year old in a month, so they've still got all that youthful enthusiasm going. Today I'm gonna go back because we've been doing a bunch of stuff, working on stuff for the immediate family. We got another a cappella that's going to be coming out real soon. Just finishing that up right now. So I just thought I'd do one more of Kucha's songs from the first album that we did as Danny Korchmar and the Immediate Family before we melded into the Immediate Family. But I was also thinking about the road is such a fascinating place, and there's things that happen out there that just sometimes are unexplainable. And I was thinking about this yesterday while I was walking the dogs, and somehow it popped back into my head, this experience we had with, it was Russ and Cooch and myself were on the road with James back, and I think it must have been like real early 70s, one of the first tours we did, and we were in the Lakes region, I think, of Northern England, around Penrith, I believe. And we were in a tour bus, normal old crap. And we're driving up the highway towards Scotland. And we see a guy hitchhiking along the side of the road. And he's on crutches with a cast on his leg. And we think, what the hell? We're in the middle of nowhere. Let's see where the guy's going, give him a lift. And so the guy ended up getting on the bus and got himself all situated, and we were heading to Glasgow, and I think he was heading to Glasgow too. So we said, yeah, come along for the ride. And he had broken his leg, and he was from, I think, somewhere on the East Coast, as I recall. But where it gets really weird is 2 years later, we were on tour with James, same bunch of guys, and we were heading from Seattle to Vancouver, and we see a guy hitchhiking along the side of the road, and we go, well, let's give him a lift. And the door opens, guy gets on the bus, takes one look at us, and we look at him, we go, oh, your leg healed okay. It was the same guy 2 years later, halfway around the world, with the same bunch of guys on a bus picking him up. I mean, it's like some strange Twilight Zone episode or something. I don't know, but somehow it just came back to me yesterday, and I just thought, man, that was so freaky. Of all the things that could ever happen in the world, to find this guy again. And then today, I excuse me while I whips out another Dingwall. This was one of the very first ones Sheldon built me. And the thing I love about this is, I mean, we talked hot rods and stuff, and this, I don't know if you can see it in there, but this is candy apple red metal flake. It under lights, man, this thing just pops. It's a real old version, so it doesn't have like the compartment up here for the batteries and all that. It's a little more primitive, but the thing, I still love using it. I used it out with Phil Collins. I think this is the one I used on the first Final Farewell tour, 2004. This is the bass I used on that. But the song I'm going to do today, now I'm getting lots of requests from people, and one thing I wanted to say is I am having a great time doing this. And even if suddenly tomorrow they lifted the veil on us and said you can go back out and do whatever you want to do, I'm still going to do this. As long as people are enjoying it, I'm gonna keep posting things, and I'll get to some Toto. I'm gonna do a couple of more songs from Spectrum. I mean, there's so many things I've worked on. I mean, from Neil Sedaka to Amanda Marshall, and I'm just going to try to throw in a real variety of different things. And this is really just to kind of show basically like my approach to doing bass parts on songs. And I'm going to do I think I'll talk about my process for preparing for things like the Toto tour, when they called me to do that, and my headspace and how I approached it, because I only had 5 days to learn their show, and that is a hard show. So there will be lots of things going on, and I fully intend to stay here, and I'm enjoying just this whole thing. I mean, if anybody has any friends that they want to turn on to this, when I get back, I've got, I think, 10 more days in quarantine from Facebook, because I was a bad boy. I'm going to talk about, I'm going to be posting things to Facebook, and also just inviting people from Facebook to come back over here, because it really, just seeing the, I'm shocked at the numbers I'm getting on here, and it's really flattering. And kind of the more I get, the more I really feel motivated, because it's also more people writing, and some of the things people have written are so heartwarming and so appreciative. So I'm loving that this is a really cool little community, and I just want to keep this up as long as we can possibly do it. I think it's great. So, but the song I am going to do now is another Cooch song that he did with Don Henley, called "All She Wants to Do Is Dance." And when we recorded this originally, the band doesn't have keyboards, but when we were in the studio, we brought in Jim Cox, who's one of the greatest keyboards ever, and he's like the first call guy in Los Angeles for like so much stuff. So he's playing on this track with us too. But hold on, that goddamn phone ringing here. Hold on, I am going to shut that off and throw it on the floor. It is over with. Nothing's more important to me than you guys. So it just seems timing is always perfect. I put my phone on do not disturb that I'm filming on and all this yet. Oh, hold on. Somebody see. Hold on. Hold on. Hello? I'm in the middle of filming something, and I can't talk right now, and I can't leave the room. Okay. Call back later. It's okay. Apparently it was a call from Nigeria. I just won $100 million, but you guys are far more important to me, so I'm just going to pass on that. Who needs that when I've got you? Okay. All she wants to do is dance. Let's see what we got happening here. all she wants to do is dance, Danny Korchmar. I love Cooch's writing, I love Cooch's guitar playing, and I love Cooch as a cat. I had a great time yesterday doing a kind of a podcast show with Stella, his daughter, and her partner Mike. And the apple didn't fall far from the tree. I so love being around the guys who I love's kids. It's like being out with Phil and having Nick playing drums with Phil's band is like such a treat, just to look back at somebody you've known since they were born and they're back there, you know, kind of grab the baton and they're running with it too. So that was great yesterday. That is kind of the incarnation of the Immediate Family, which is our new band. And we are, you know, like I've said in past ones, we've got a new album that we finished of all original material. And we're just making game plans for when the opportunity for us all to get together again and start gigging comes up. We're excited about it. You know, we really can't wait, and we are so thrilled that after playing together now for 50 years, it's really horrifying. I took all the reflective surfaces out of my house so that I don't really feel as old as I appear. So, you know, I walk by a mirror and you go, somebody broke, you know, somebody's grandfather broke into the house. What the hell's going on in here? So it's a trip, but, you know, glad to still be here, glad to still be doing it. And I wish you all the best today. I will be back tomorrow. If you know anybody who's, you know, post stuff about this, you know, the more the merrier. Let's just make this, you know, just a nice big kind of hang party. I read every note everybody writes. And I've responded to a lot of them. It does take up time when it turns into a lot of them, but I got a lot of time right now. So trying to hang with you as best I possibly can and try to address tunes that you guys might like to hear, because I've been getting a bunch about Red Baron from Spectrum and Tarian Matador, so I will jump into those at some point. Just sort of, the hard part's just feeling your chops diminishing. I mean, I'm trying to play every day, but man, there is nothing like playing live or in the studio with the band and going for hours and hours and hours. So working on it, just keeping things working here, but it's a challenge. And but have a great day. As I do every day. I'm turning into Carol Burnett tugging her ear at the end of her show, but please give a thought and a thank you to all the people that are working so hard every day. I mean, the numbers of this tragedy just keep increasing. They may be slowing down in some places, but they still are on the upswing. We are nowhere near the end of this horrendous human tragedy that's taking place. So big thank you to all of the healthcare workers who really, I mean, they're sitting there with things that should be disposed of after one use, and they're trying to make them last a week or 10 days at a time. So they're really putting themselves in tremendous harm's way. And when I go by the post office or please keep the post office running, God, don't shut that down and privatize that. But you know, it's post office is a real integral part of our lives. But I see all the people when the mailman comes over. I saw some gas company workers working on the house across the street, and they were gloved and masked. And everybody I see out is really trying to do the right thing. And that's the only thing that's going to bring this to an end, is if we're smart about it. The frustration is obvious for everybody. You know, between no work and confinement, it's really hard. But boy, if you start really gathering in groups again, it's really I'm sure we're gonna see a massive spike, because it happens every time like one of these church groups gets together and they do a big, you know, church meeting, and next thing you know, somebody in there had it, and all of a sudden hundreds of people have it. It's a human tragedy beyond comprehension that we're living through right now. And hopefully they will find a cure for this and be able to arrest this. But until then, we just have to be diligent and smart about this. And I'm going to be in here every day in my little crappy room here with just a bunch of junk piled up in it. This was never intended to be my studio, but I don't have a studio in my house. Every time people would say, "Oh man, you must have a really cool studio," I say, everybody I know has a cool studio except me. I would usually, when I'd get a project, I would just call one of my friends, like John Gilliton or somebody who's a fabulous keyboard player and a really good engineer, and I'd just go over to his house and we would just do it and then hang out, and maybe if we had enough time, go grab a pizza or something like that. So there's ways of making it all work. And that was my candy apple red Dingwall. So that's it for today. I wish you all the very best. You take good care, make the most of your day that you can. And I will see you tomorrow with something else. I mean, I'm like gum on your shoe. It's pretty hard to get rid of, even if you think it is. You walk in the house and there's a wad in the carpet. It's tough. So off button. Bye.